afternoon, folks. Aaron Dorr here, policy advisor with Wyoming gun owners. And guys, I have a full cup of coffee. I've got a full glass of water, and I have some time that I think we need to focus on right now and talk about the fight for gun rights in Wyoming. This is New Year's Eve. This is afternoon, New Year's Eve, December 31st. Session is a little ways away, but not too far away. And we're already hearing very bad stuff about the 2020 session. So we're going to break down what we're hearing. I'm going to host a watch party right now before I do that. So give me just a moment to make this happen. We're going to recap 2019, and we're going to break down what we know is coming. What we know is coming in 2020. And folks, it's not good. So get tuned in. Let me know where you're watching from. Again, my name is Aaron Dorr, policy advisor with Wyoming gun owners. Probably the most hated person, or one of the most hated people in the Capitol by all the swamp creatures in the state Capitol. And I'm very happy to own that badge of honor, by the way. Just getting the last couple comments put here in the comment section. Give me just a moment, and then we'll kick off this video. Again, let me know where you are watching from. Helps the video be seen by more people. There we go. Got my last pinned comment in place. Okay, here we go. So we've been telling you guys since session adjourned this year that gun grabbers, that moderates, and that spindly little lobbyists in Cheyenne were going to go out of their way to try to pass fix NICS gun control sometime in 2020. And I was approached by one of former Governor Meade's spindly lobbyists, Nephi Cole. Look him up if you want, Nephi Cole. And he was like, hey, you guys aren't going to oppose us if we do fix NICS, gun control language, are you? You guys wouldn't be opposed to that. And I just laughed in his face. I was like, bro, if you even try. Well, you know what? They tried. They didn't try it during session. They tried during the interim committee process. You guys know. You were getting our emails. You were getting our Facebook notes about this. And the thing is that they never really disclosed the full bill draft to the last minute. We didn't have a lot of time to really look at the bill and give you guys a full breakdown on it. But the bill died in the interim committee process. This was on what? This was on November 4, I believe. Or also it was November 5. But a month and a half ago, the bill died in the interim committee process. And, at that time, we warned everybody and we said, you know what? These moderate sons of guns might very, very likely try to ram this sucker through during the upcoming 2020 shortened budget session. And we've been putting feelers out all over the place, trying to figure out where this threat is going to come from. And I got to tell you, I think we know where it's going to come from. And we're going to discuss that here in a moment. But I want to discuss what fix NICS is, because as you could imagine, anytime swamp creatures in Cheyenne want to do something that would be negative to our gun rights, they try to wrap it in something good. So all you see is what they want you to see. So they have a provision in there that would allow people who are flagged to appeal that and get their firearms back. But at the end of the day, what Fix NICS is another tracking, program, another tracking, another way for gun owners to be tracked by federal authorities and state authorities in their central database. And they want you to think that it's only for those who've been adjudicated mentally defective. But that's not the case. That's not the case. These days, being mentally defective, you're declared defective by all kinds of entities. Soldiers who come back from combat are oftentimes declared mentally handicapped or mentally defective, not adjudicated, declared. And the difference there is seismic, because if you are declared defective, that means that one mental health staffer, one doctor, one shrink, whatever, can just say, you know what? I met with, let me pick a name here. I see Joe commenting in Gillette. I met with Joe. He came back from overseas. He's seen some bad stuff. He has a hard time, eating or kind of getting back to sleep. We think he's defective. Boom, he's defective. And that's it. That's it. If you are adjudicated defective, you stand before a judge. You can have a lawyer present. You can confront the evidence against you. You can provide your own evidence. All of the due process rights that we enjoy as Americans come into play. But if we allow it to be done by a simple declaration, you're screwed. And the number of veterans across the country who have been disarmed through this process is well over hundreds of thousands of people, according to Gun Owners of America. Hundreds of thousands of veterans have been stripped of their gun rights because some shrink somewhere declares that they are defective. Now, if somebody is truly mentally defective, we don't want them to have guns, of course. But there's a process for that. And they have to stand before a judge and be adjudicated. But I'm just going to tell you right now, if you guys disagree, that's fine. You can comment and give your own perspective. But I'm going to tell you right now, in a day and age when gun grabbers are using mental health as their primary vehicle for trying to advance gun control, especially in red states, we have got to err on the side of caution. And especially, it's doubly so in a day and age when red flag gun seizures are all the rage. If you guys are just getting tuned in, I'm going to tell you guys who we are being told is going to sponsor this bill in just a couple of minutes. And so we have red flags, which is basically a mental health, gun control bill firing off all around us. We have all kinds of attempts to put more and more gun owners into centralized databases, and we don't like databases. We don't like databases. We don't like gun owners in databases in particular. And so, and the third reason why we're opposed to this bill, folks, is that you never know where this is going to end up. You never know. And so for a swarmy lobbyist to tell us, oh, no, we have permanent protections in there. Permanent my ass. The Stand Your Ground law fight we went through last year in 2018 went through 14 different iterations in the final 36 hours of session. Nobody knows the final product. When you put a live grenade like this, fixed NICS bill on the floor, nobody knows where it's going to end up. Nobody. And anybody who tells you they can guarantee that they can play with this snake and not get bitten is either A, an idiot, or B, trying to willfully mislead you. Now, that being said, we have been warning you guys for some time that this bill is going to come back. It's going to come back during the upcoming 2020 session. Yeah, we killed it. We killed it straight up in the interim, but it's not going to go away because the swamp never quits. So here's the deal. We are getting reports from all kinds of sources, from the lobby, from some press, from some lawmakers, and everybody else. I mean, even Santa Claus told me this, that Representative Bill Pownell is going to be the guy who files this bill in 2020. Representative Bill Pownell. Now, I don't like dealing in rumor at all. So I have called Bill. I have emailed Bill. As of this moment, I have not heard back from Bill. He will not confirm or deny either way. Now, if he calls me back and he says he's not going to do it and he's going to be a no vote if it comes up, I'll do a video at that time and make sure and tell you guys. But I got to tell you, based on his vote on this bill in the interim committee, and based on the fact that he is widely expected to not seek re-election, it may be public. It may not be. I think it's public. I don't know. He's the natural go-to guy. Representative Pownell voted yes on this bill in the interim committee process that concluded in early November. He was a yes vote when all the best lawmakers in the state were a no vote. He was a yes vote. And so, again, if you're getting tuned in right now, we're being told that Representative Bill Pownell is going to be the guy who does the dirty work for the moderates, for Speaker Harshman, and sponsors Fix NICS gun control in 2020. I don't have an advocacy program for you guys set up today. We don't have pre-written emails. Trust me, all that's coming. All that's coming. I just want to kind of paint the picture on where we're at in the fight for gun rights right now, because here is a quintessential example of the problem. We have a massive Republican majority in all the both chambers, no question about that. They have complete domination across the board. Yet somehow we continue to have these moderates. They're always in charge, and they're always still acting like anti-gun Democrats, and they confuse way too many people because, after all, they're a Republican. And Bill Pellnell is one of those kind of guys. He's always backing attempts to water down your gun rights. And now he's going to be the guy who is sponsoring this bill. We're also directly in communication with Representative Clark Stith. Now, if you don't know Clark decided to go on to our Facebook page, on Wyoming Gun Owners Facebook page, yesterday, 2 days ago. I don't know. Michael says, love you guys. Love you too, Michael. Good to see you on the page today. And hey, guys, if you haven't joined up with WYGO, the link is above the video. It's just join WYGO.com, joinwygo.com. Sandy says, the arrogance of these politicians who refuse to answer legitimate questions shows their opinion that they are superior to the rest of us. Oh, my goodness. The disdain that these people have for you and me, the folks that sit there and put them in office, the folks that tell them who they work for, that we tell them what to do, they despise you and I. They despise. I'm sorry, I'm getting a message right now from a lawmaker in the state. Let me just double check this. Okay, it's not about this. Joe says, thanks for information. We appreciate it. No problem, Joe. We love to expose corruption and crap like this. So Clark Stith, who voted yes on Fix NICS in the interim committee process, comes on our Facebook page yesterday, and he tries to say how we're misleading people, how the bill actually does all these good things. And so how can you sit there and attack us for trying to do all these good things? And he wants, of course, to try to shut us down, try to make us be quiet, because after all, he says, I co-sponsored Stand Your Ground law in 2018. And I got back on that page, and I'm just going to tell you, folks, I don't give these people a lot of respect. Respect is earned. It's not given, especially collectively by Wyoming gun owners. And so when Clark said we had to somehow give him a pass because, after all, he co-sponsored Stand Your Ground law, I said, dude, 40 freaking people or more co-sponsored that bill. You don't get a pass because you freaking co-sponsored the most popular bill in Wyoming in 2018. Shut up. And he also is the kind of guy, here's what we're dealing with. Here's what Clark Stith is. Here's what he does, okay? So 2018, and this stuff is important because these details we so often don't have time to get out there, but I have time this afternoon, and we're going to go through it. In 2018, the House ran a hostile amendment on Stand Your Ground law, hostile amendment, bad stuff, and then a couple hours later, we had the identical bill over in the Senate chamber. The Senate decided, screw that, we're not doing that, and they ran the clean bill back over to the House. And we met with Clark, and we said, this amendment that your leadership team keeps trying to put in this bill is a harmful bill, a harmful amendment, rather. It's bad for the bill. And we need you to help us oppose this. And Clark sat there. He met with us. He said, yeah, I agree with you guys. Yeah, I can see this could be a bad thing. And he was going to go onto the floor and speak against this harmful amendment. I'm sorry, I'm getting confused here. Lori says Clark is an ex of Senator Asami Dalton. Lori, that I did not know. The more you know, right? I'll have to check into that. Send me a link. Send me a link. So Clark Stith tells us he's going to champion this for us. He's going to protect this for us. He's going to go on the floor and speak against this amendment for us. And what does he do? I'm standing right there in the fishbowl. And of course, guys, this is the temporary Capitol, the Jonah building. This is 2018, temporary Capitol, and they have what's called the fishbowl behind the chambers, where you stand behind a glass partition to watch what they do. And we're standing there, and Clark goes up front to speak. And instead of sitting there and taking the pro-gun side instead of trying to like talk against the amendment, he took a knife, stabbed us straight into the heart, the back, and he spoke in favor of it. In favor of it. So that's the kind of two-timing bastards that we deal with all the time. All the time. These people who tell us how pro-gun they are. These folks who say, you can trust us, we're a Republican. And then when we need them, when we're actually at the crucible, they just turn around and stab you right in the back. And that's why we're not surprised at all that Clark Stiff is publicly championing this bill. That's why we're not surprised at all that Bill Pownell may be the guy who is going to file this bill in 2020. Again, we've called him. We've emailed him. I personally called him, emailed him. Have not heard back from the guy as of this moment. So if he ever gets it back to us, we'll let you guys know. But these are the kind of people that we're dealing with. It's ridiculous. And in case you don't know some of the history about Bill, since we're discussing history, someone here is texting me offline, reminding me about this. You know, Bill, as a former sheriff, was the guy who, in case you don't know this, you can Google it. It's all over the news. It's not my news. It's all over the place. Bill was the guy as sheriff when his son got arrested for a DUI. He ordered his officers to charge him with a pedestrian intoxication violation. It was so bad, the local authorities agreed he had to go. They referred the matter on up to Governor Meade. And we all know what a schmuck Governor Meade was. And despite that, even Governor Meade said that the Sheriff Pownell had to get out of office or he was going to throw him out. And the sheriff resigned from office. Incidentally, this was a couple days after he won his election to the House for the first time. So this is the kind of people we're dealing with. I mean, it's just scum. And it's insider rhinos protecting insider rhinos. They attack all of the good lawmakers in Cheyenne. They attack Wyoming gun owners. They attack you and me all the time. And they are the most arrogant people you've ever met. And so that's the kind of stuff that we're fighting against. Now, again, like I told you, we don't have a pre-written email today. We're going to have a whole bunch of this come out in the near future. We're going to expose all this, give you guys all kinds of new tools to communicate with your lawmakers with, all of it. But this is going to come up. But we just want you guys to kind of know where things stand and why your membership in WYGO is so important. And right now, as we're 10 hours away from 2020. If you haven't yet signed up as a member for 2020, now's the time, guys. We need you now more than ever. Lori has given me her email address. Lori, do me a favor and send me what you got directly to me. It's info@wyominggunowners.org. info@wyominggunowners.org. You know, these people walk around and they're convinced that we're supposed to like just bow down and just thank them because, they're serving the people. You know, these people are serving one entity, and that is their own ego. That's all they're doing. That's all they're doing. There's good people there. I'm not pretending that's not the case. But when it comes to these people, these moderates, these people are only there to serve themselves, their own personal interests, their own careers. That's all it is. That's all it is. And standing between that garbage and our freedoms is Wyoming Gun Owners. This organization, in case you guys don't know, WYGO, not me, but WYGO as an organization has been around for over 10 years. Back when it was run by now State Senator Anthony Bouchard, WYGO passed constitutional carry law clear back in 2011. One of the first states to kick off the explosion of constitutional carry law states that's happened in the last 10 years. In 2018, WYGO, again, were the ones that we passed and drafted, lobbied for, put pressure on lawmakers, and passed Stand Your Ground law. WYGO has also stopped a bunch of bad crap like Fix NICS from happening back in 2014 when they had their first attempt to pass Fix NICS. It was almost a universal background check bill at that time. It was so bad. WYGO was there putting pressure on lawmakers, holding people accountable. And, you know, people say all the time, well, it's Wyoming. How bad could it be? Like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not in a race to see how low Wyoming can go. I mean, we're not trying to compare ourselves to New York, to California, to Colorado, to Maryland, right? We want to be the freest state in the country, the best state in the country for gun owners. So, yeah, I know you guys all agree, but when I hear people sometimes say, well, you know, how bad can it really be? Well, you know what? People said that in Colorado, didn't they? 10 years ago. They said it's a Western state. It's a mountain state. Nothing bad's going to happen, right? And what's happened in the last 10 years? Colorado's gone to hell and gone when it comes to gun rights. Universal background checks, mag bans, the whole 9 yards. And if we think for a month, look, everybody knows what's going on. Everybody knows. Whether it's Idaho, whether it's Wyoming, all these states, all these people from California, from Washington, from Oregon, all over the place, moving into the state, taking over, and increasingly taking control of our state. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. And so we can't sit on our butt and just hope that nothing bad happens. We have to aggressively go after lawmakers who even think about trying to weaken our right to defend ourselves. Lori wants my email again. Lori, yeah, it's info@wyominggunowners.org. info@wyominggunowners.org. And if that doesn't work for some reason, just give me a note on the Facebook page. Send us a note through the WYGO Facebook page, and we'll talk with you that way. Not a problem. Not a problem. And so they're going to try. They're going to try. They're going to try again and again and again, because these people, they have an agenda. They have an agenda. And we need to make sure they know that anytime you try to raise your head up above the swamp that you live in, we're going to play whack-a-mole with your political head, politically speaking, and we're going to whack it back down. We will not let you get away with attacking our freedoms. You're not going to get a free pass. WYGO is always going to be there to push back against anybody, left or right, who's trying to attack our gun rights. We don't care if it comes from, consider the right, the left, anything. Speaker's office, I mean, we don't care. We don't care. We have a real problem in Cheyenne with these moderates. We have got to stay on point and on guard forever. This never goes away. This never, ever, ever goes away. So, guys, that's what we know right now. Bill Pownell, supposedly the guy that we're hearing from, like, I think 4 sources now, or 5, who's going to be sponsoring Fix NICS in 2020. We've reached out to him. We've called him. We've emailed him, asking for confirmation. Haven't heard back. Probably never will. We want to give him that chance because we're nice guys. And he's going to have support. Clark Stith is already publicly trying to chastise Wyoming gun owners and myself, because after all, he's pro-gun. And he wants to make sure that he's going to support the bill. No question. You know, I found this article from the other day. This is the Powell Tribune. This is when the actual vote happened to kill the bill in the interim committee. And I found a great quote here from Representative, I think it was Chuck Gray. I think it was Chuck. Yeah, Chuck Gray. He gives a great reason as to why we have to always oppose this. He says, this bill would have created a procedure where someone could lose their gun rights simply by reaching out for counseling. This bill would not only have compromised our personal liberty, it would have discouraged people from seeking professional help for their problems. And isn't that just how government always works? The problem that they supposedly are trying to address, they're only going to make it worse, because Chuck Gray was exactly right. When you make it when you make it so scary to get professional help because they know they're going to lose their gun rights, they're going to stop asking for help. And that's the last thing that these people need. That's the last thing that we need in the state. So, guys, buckle up, get ready. If you haven't yet joined WYGO, this is the time. We need you right now. $35 a year is a membership. We're talking pennies a day. No organization fights harder. We punch way above our weight class, passing stand your ground law last year, getting roll call votes this year, 2019, on gun-free zone repeal. Now we have the primaries coming up in 2020. This is our time to hold these people accountable, but we need you guys on board so we have the resources we need to fight back with. In the meantime, have a great night. Have a great New Year's Eve. And if you see your state rep, if you see your state senator over the next month and a half until session begins, make sure and pull him or her aside and say, I just want you to know that if you even think about backing the kind of gun control that we're hearing about, fix NICS, and let's not forget about this bill's sponsor in D.C. is Dianne Feinstein. She was the sponsor. So if we even hear an inkling that you might support this bill, you're on our list in the primaries in 2020, guys. Make sure they know that. Join WYGO.com. You guys have a great night. Share this video everywhere. We'll come back with more information very soon. You guys have a great night.